know what you guys. I'm a huge fan of this man, but he's beatable, man. He's very beatable, and I wouldn't be surprised if Xander Zayas beats him. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be predicting this weekend's main event live in New York City. Xander Zayas versus Jaron Boots Ennis. Now, when it comes to like hype and to build-up, this is a very interesting fight. Two of the best fighters in this weight class. Xander Zayas being the youngest world champion we have today. Not of all time, but the youngest world champion that we have today. Him only being like 23 or 24. We got Boots Ennis, who is already a former world champion at 147. And like I said, as far as hype, this fight is very good. I guess you could say when there was another hype fight like Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson, but the hype didn't live up to to the actual fight. I think the hype is going to live up to the actual potential. I think it's going to be a very close fight. But now, before we get any further into the video, make sure to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and share my videos with your friends and family. If you guys like to see my type of content as well. Without any further ado, let's get into the video. So looking at Xander Zayas' last fight against Abass Baraou. He looked very dominant in that fight. I know on record it says, split decision. But, he was dominating that man like the entire fight. I could definitely say the only success that Abass really had was definitely towards those later rounds. And then, because Xander Zayas did start to get cocky. He's like, I'm dominating this guy. This entire fight, I feel like, I'm going to just, be a little cocky. That's the thing I'm concerned for Xander Zayas. Because Xander Zayas, towards those later rounds, he definitely will start to get cocky, especially if he's dominating you. If it's a pretty close fight, he's going to take it serious. But if he's just beating the crap out of you, he's going to be like, okay, you know what? I feel like I don't really need to go full try hard on here. And he just starts getting cocky. And, against a guy, it's different doing that against a guy like Abass Baraou than doing that to a guy like Jaron Boots Ennis, because Jaron Boots Ennis definitely does hit very hard. But the thing, some concerns coming into this fight that I do have for Jaron Boots Ennis, that sometimes he does stay in the pocket a little bit too long. And that could be bad, because Xander Zayas, a few things that I could definitely see him winning this fight is definitely him using that jab, using that footwork, using the fight IQ, keeping, not turning it into a huge or messy brawl. If he does that, I could definitely lean towards Boots Ennis. But who knows? Xander Zayas could definitely, he can definitely brawl. It's possible that, if he's prepared enough for that, he can definitely brawl with, Jaron Boots Ennis if that's what he wants to. But will he have the gas tank for those 12 rounds? Because when you're switching up different styles right away, you're gonna get tired a little bit sooner than what you want to. But one thing I do not see happening is that I've seen a lot of people on comments for that fight. I've seen a lot. Jaron Boots Ennis will not dominate Xander Zayas in this fight. Because think about it. How can he dominate Xander Zayas if Xander Zayas is a smart fighter, moves around, and doesn't stay in the pocket? He can't dominate a guy like that if he's dominate certain fighters depending on their skills. If they don't have the cleanest footwork, then yeah, for sure. But if they have very good footwork, it's going to be hard to try to dominate them. Xander Zayas is a pretty hard guy to hit. Like, remember, I know he's been rocked before. Like, when he fought Jorge Garcia, his fight before Abass, he did get rocked. And I forgot exactly what round. But then right after he got rocked by Garcia, that Garcia couldn't land now one punch after that. So that's the thing. If Boots does rock Xander Zayas coming into this fight, will he be able to hit him immediately after rocking him? I think that could definitely be a impossibility. And I feel like one thing that Boots needs to do is that Boots needs to stay calm at all costs throughout this fight. Because, you know, we all know Xander Zayas is going to be moving around. And if there's certain punches he can't land on Xander Zayas, he's going to have to be a little more patient and, you know, start figuring out Xander Zayas. One thing I say that Boots needs to do coming into this fight is set up body shots. You know, we all know for Xander Zayas for moving around the ring a lot. So he needs to land body shots because if you hit the body, it's going to slow him down. He's not going to be as fast. He's going to be a little bit more hittable throughout this fight. But if Boots struggles to even land body shots in this fight, he definitely is going to get frustrated. Xander Zayas definitely is known for, I feel like he can definitely get fighters frustrated throughout times if they're barely hitting him. That's what makes Xander Zayas so good. And this man's only 23. Listen, if this was Xander Zayas 2 years later, I don't think Boots would have had a chance of beating Xander Zayas. But since, you know, Xander Zayas is, you know, still 23, still improving, I still think it's a 50-50 fight. But if Xander Zayas is like 25 fighting Boots Ennis, I would easily pick Xander Zayas to win this one. But since, you know, we're talking about, you know, him still in his early age, I think it's going to be a pretty close fight. But, like I said, I think a lot of you guys could be underestimating Xander Zayas a little bit. Xander Zayas does have the capabilities. I'm not saying it's impossible for Xander Zayas to beat Jaron Boots Ennis, because Jaron Boots Ennis, I'm going to be very real with you guys. I'm a huge fan of this man. But he's beatable, man. He's very beatable. And I wouldn't be surprised if Xander Zayas beats him. But now, keep the distance throughout this fight with Boots Ennis. Boots Ennis is going to land a bunch of power shots throughout him through this entire fight. But now, who am I leaning towards to win this fight? I'm going with Boots Ennis. But I think he wins a split or majority decision. I think this could be one of the best fights of the year. Like I said, Xander Zayas, if he wants to beat Boots, he's got to use that jab. Follow with, when he gets close, follow up with that counter right. You know, use a lot of footwork and move around the ring and use a lot of feints to trick Boots. Because Boots, he definitely has a problem with his feet. Sometimes he definitely, throughout fights, he crosses his feet when he's moving, and that could definitely be a big concern. Like when Jaron Boots Ennis fought Stanis, you know, the name's right up here if you guys don't know what I'm talking about. Throughout that fight, he was definitely struggling before he managed to knock him out. And if you guys would ask me, who do you think fought the better competition? I'm going to be very real with you guys. I think Xander Zayas fought the better competition. Because listen, this man fought Abass Baraou, which Abass Baraou before that beat Ennis in a pretty dominant decision. Beat Jorge Garcia. Jorge Garcia before that beat Charles Conwell. And then, you know, also beat Patrick Terrera, which Patrick Terrera beat Carlos Adames. So Xander Zayas definitely had the better competition. I think, you know, Boots definitely has a lot more experience, a lot more fights in him. But we're talking about on the top level, I think Xander Zayas has definitely fought the better competition. That's one thing that Xander Zayas could use to his advantage. But that's also a thing that could be concerning for Xander Zayas. Because Xander Zayas is like, oh, I think I fought the better competition. If he uses that knowledge, he'll be like, oh, I fought the better competition than this guy. So, and sometimes when you fight the better competition than somebody, sometimes you get a little too carried away. But that's what Xander Zayas needs to not do coming into this fight with Jaron Boots Ennis. It's different getting carried away against a guy like Abass Baraou than it is against a guy like Jaron Boots Ennis. Because if Jaron Boots Ennis sees that you're getting carried away, he's going to use that to his advantage to try and knock you out. And that's just a little bit concern I have here for Xander Zayas. But if Xander Zayas on his game, moving around, he could definitely have the possibility. But I think Boots wins because I think that power towards the beginning of the fight, I think the beginning rounds, I think that's when Boots kind of does shine. And then towards those later rounds, I think that's when it starts to become close. But I got Jaron Boots Ennis winning a split decision. But that will be the end of the video, y'all. If If you guys enjoy my type of UFC content, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. Turn on notification when you guys want to see when I upload. Thank y'all for 114 subscribers. I'll see you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.